we're back. In today's video, we're gonna help out first-time home buyers. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because as a real estate agent, I've helped both new home buyers and I've also helped people who've been out of the game for just too long and need a refresher on steps to take to purchase a home. The other reason why I wanted to make this video is because we have the new NAR settlement that came through, and there's certain bits of information that affect you as a consumer that you should really be conscious of. And lastly, as a real estate agent, it's one of my favorite things to do. It's one of the most rewarding things when you find a home for a family and they can begin to make their memories, because a house is just a house until your memories make it a home. So I'm bringing you along for the ride. If there's any questions that I didn't cover in the video, you know exactly where to leave them. But other than that, let's get going. We're gonna start the video with a question that I get asked a lot more frequently now than I did before, which is it a good time or a bad time to purchase real estate? Now, it is my humble opinion that it's never really a bad time to purchase real estate. There are more fortuitous times to purchase real estate where your investment may return faster than others, but it's always a good investment to make. There is a quote that says, real estate cannot be stolen, lost, nor can it be carried away. Purchased with common sense, paid for in full, and reasonably managed, it is the safest investment that you can make. That was Franklin D. Roosevelt. And it still stands to this day. So what we aim to do in this video is just 10 little bullet points that's going to help you as a first-time home buyer or as a returning home buyer to know what steps to take to make this huge investment in your life. For some of us, it's the biggest investment that we'll ever make. And I want to make sure that you make the right choices and know the right steps to take. Numero uno. Step number one. The first thing you want to do on your journey to purchasing your new home is to see how much you can spend to purchase a new home. Now, how do you do this? You might think it's, hey, honey, I make this much, darling, I make this much. Let's put it together, let's make a budget, and we can probably buy a house that's worth this much. There's a lot more that goes into it. Obviously, the best step to take is to go speak to a financial professional that specializes in mortgage products or home purchasing products and see how much you can be pre-approved for. Now, that term, pre-approval, is not a guarantee. When you receive a pre-approval letter that says you can buy a home for $400,000, it does not mean that they're going to approve you $400,000. It says that there is a high likelihood that you can be approved for a loan of or mortgage of $400,000. But that is going to be your first step, because you need to know how much you can purchase before you even go look at the market. It does not matter how much money you make until all of the pieces get put together by these professionals and they give you the information that you need. But simple enough. Step number one, get yourself a pre-approval letter to see how much you can spend on a new home. Step number two, you've got your pre-approval letter. What's the next step? Let's go see some houses and buy it? Not so fast. Your next step is gonna be setting a budget for all the unexpected expenses that come with closing on a home. Because believe it or not, it's not just get pre-approved, get the mortgage, go buy the house. So when you get a mortgage, they're gonna want a down payment. They're gonna want some form of commitment that you're going to pay this mortgage. It's typically a percentage of that mortgage. It can be a pretty penny. In some products like FHA and VA loan, they have really low to no down payment, but that may not be the product that you're using. You may be using a conventional product. The other thing are all the inspections. Here in Florida, we have normal inspections, but we also have WDO inspections. These expenses come out of your pocket. And then lastly, your closing cost. Because to purchase a home, there's a lot of people who have to get to work. There's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done. There's a lot of I's that need to be dotted and T's that need to be crossed. So the closing cost is another out-of-pocket expenditure that you're gonna accrue when you're trying to purchase a home. Now, if you've got a good savings capital, this is the perfect time to use it because it's for an investment, meaning that you will get a return on those savings eventually. If you don't, then that's gonna be your next step. You're gonna want to save some of your cash every single paycheck to now accrue an amount of money that allows you to make your move. Your step number three is going to be understanding what loan product works well for you. Now, luckily, if you did step number one, you already have the person that you need to contact to get this information from. You need to realize, are you going to use a conventional loan? Are you going to use an FHA loan? If you're a veteran, are you going to do a VA loan? Is this a cash purchase? Is there any seller finance available? These are all questions that you can discuss with your financial professional and try to navigate which is going to serve you better, which one's going to give you the best bang for your buck in the long run, which one has the best interest rate, which one fits you and your budget and your family unit the best. It's a important step to skip because a lot of folks will be like, hey, yeah, he told me I can get this kind of loan and that's what I went with. Ask questions. Why do we choose that loan? Is it because of my credit history? Is there anything I can do to maybe put myself in a better position in the next 6 months? Buying a home is not a decision you make from one day to the next. You start it from one day to the next, but it usually takes some time to find the home that you want, especially if you want to do it the right way. So step number 3 is simple, but it gets skipped on a lot. Find out what's the best loan product for you. All right, number 4. You've got your pre-approval letter. You've got your budget in place. What's now? Let's go look at some houses. So you've contacted yourself a real estate professional. They're going to serve you in every capability that they have. You guys have sat down, had a conversation on what you're looking for, what fits your criteria. You've also talked about the new National Association of Realtors buyer agreement. That's one of those steps that I was going to talk about. So before, you would contact a real estate professional, and the only question they would really ask is, have you gotten a pre-approval letter? And you answered yes, and we're off to the races. Well, now with the new settlement, we have to sit down, have a conversation, because typically compensation for the real estate professional comes from the seller, but we may run into an instance where the home of your dreams does not offer compensation, and you will have to compensate your agent for the work that they've done for you. Now, that's one of those things that we talked about, budget for those unexpected expenses. But either way, everything's peachy keen and we're ready to go. So what are we looking for when we go see houses? So you want to ask the right amount of questions to get all the information before you make a decision, because the house can look gorgeous on the pictures, but when you show up, a lot of the things start to come very clear. Question that you should be asking is, what age is the HVAC? What age is the roof? Were there any foundation problems? Has there been any type of WDO problems with the home, such as termites or anything like that? That's very important here in the state of Florida or any other southern states that you live in. Does the home have any structural concerns that were fixed or may not be fixed? Has there been any plumbing problems? Are there any leaks? Has there been any mold or anything like that? These are questions that you're going to want to ask. Now, typically your real estate professional asks them for you. The first thing you do when you tell them, hey, I want to go see this house, is they're going to have that information ready for you. Hey, just so you know, HVAC 2018, the roof was done in 2020. The plumbing, if it's an older house, it does need the plumbing redone. Plumbing was redone in 2021. Bathrooms were remodeled in this year. Kitchen was remodeled in this year. That information your real estate professional should have for you. But don't be afraid to ask it yourself, just in case you don't get stuck with something that on paper looked really good, but in practice it ended up being really bad when the HVAC goes kaput 2 weeks into your new residence. Number 5. This step goes along with number 4, because as I said, you're going to want to do your due diligence on these homes that you're viewing and ensure that you're making the correct purchase. So in that due diligence is also the real estate professional that you chose. You got to make sure that you're choosing someone that is going to help you with this purchase, not just open doors. They need to know information about the house. They need to do the homework, so when we do arrive, they have that information for you. They also need to make sure that they have information in the area. If they are from the area, then that's great. They'll probably know. If they're not from the area, then they'll do their due diligence and their homework to find out information of the area. For example, what is there to do for fun around here? What kind of schools are there? Not necessarily any type of steering or anything, to indicate that you're going to want to buy this house because of XYZ reason, but to more show you how this house fits into the criteria that you've given them, and to also bring you the information of the home itself. I know when I take my buyers out for home tours, the craziest one I've done, we did 10 houses in one day. And I did my homework on every single one of these houses. You can ask these clients. We would walk into the house and I would just start rattling off facts. I had them all written down. I have every single home with all of the categories such as, livable square footage, total square footage, lot size, year built, year of the HVAC, year of the roof, if there was any seller disclosures that they needed to know about. I had every little bit and piece that they could ever want about each one of these homes. Now, the majority of the homes were in my neighborhood, not literal neighborhood, but I mean in the area that I work. So I knew plenty of information as far as the schools and what is there to do for fun, how close are you to the beach, all of that good information. Some of them were not in my area. They were a little bit further south. So I definitely did my homework and find out what is there to do for fun around here. What's, the proximity to the beach? What's the schools in the area? These are all information that my client found extremely valuable. And in one day, we were able to knock out all the tours and choose a home and put in an offer. So when you're choosing a real estate agent, make sure you choose the right professional that's going to help you every step of the way to make sure that when you do make your purchase, you made the right one. Step number 5, choose the right professional. Step number 6. You found the home that you wanted. You've asked all the right questions, and it fits all your needs. It's time to make an offer. Now, when making an offer, you want to ensure that you are going to be competitive, because you may not be the only person making this offer. You may be in a bidding war, which is a whole nother beast that needs to be navigated. This is why you hired a real estate professional, because they're going to help you with this very crucial step of making a competitive offer that gets accepted and gets this deal to the table. You're not going to offer a $400,000 house, $280,000. It's kind of laughable. But step number 6, make sure that you make a competitive offer that is going to benefit you, but also get the deal to the table. Step number 7. And I do have to preview this step by letting you know that I am not a financial professional, and in no way, shape, or form is this legal advice. This is just my opinion, even though it is opinion shared by lots of financial professionals. But step number 7 is you made an offer, it got accepted, and you're officially under contract. Congratulations, you're on your way to becoming a homeowner. Please, pretty please, with cherry on top, do not make any large-scale expenditures or purchases until this deal closes. Do not go buy a boat to celebrate that you're going to have a house to park it in, because there's very few things that can make a deal fall through outside of a catastrophic inspection. But some of these things are like loss of employment, bankruptcy, the unfortunate untimely death of one of the purchasers, or large-scale expenditures that may affect your credit. So if you're under contract, let's keep our expenditures to just normal miscellaneous costs. The bills that you're used to paying and whatever miscellaneous things you're used to paying, that's fine. Just don't make any large-scale expenses. Don't go buy a 2024 Lexus to celebrate your 2-car garage now. That might kill the deal. I'm not saying don't go to Outback Steakhouse and get a big bloomin' onion with your steak. That's fine. It's just the big ones that are really going to affect the deal. So step number 7 is simple enough, but it still has to be said because it has happened. No large-scale expenses until the deal is closed. Step number 8. We're under contract. You've limited your large-scale expenses. Everything's moving along smoothly. Inspection occurred. Nothing's too bad there. We negotiated 1 or 2 repairs here or there. We're still got the ball rolling. The final walkthrough is going to be your step number 8. Before the end of a purchase of a home, you have an opportunity to do one final walkthrough on the property to ensure that it is in the same state that you were when you made your offer. Again, these steps I mentioned, they sound like logic, but it has happened. We went to go purchase a home and it had these beautiful blinds that were drilled into the side of the house, and now in your final walkthrough, all the blinds are gone. And that's your last chance to be like, hey, where are these blinds at? Do not skip on the final walkthrough, especially when it can be something huge like, oh, the seller thought he paid an exorbitant amount of money for this water heater that's brand spanking new, so he changed it for the old water heater. Or when you first walked through the home, you first saw the home, it had a 5 gas burner range, and now you're seeing a 4 burner electric. Those things have happened. It's not right, but it's your last chance to do so before you put pen to paper and say, I accept this piece of property that's coming my way. So number 8, final walkthrough. Don't skip on it. Step number 9, it's closing day. It's time to put pen to paper and own a piece of real estate. Very important thing to note. If you have 2 people on the title of this property, both of those persons need to be there with their ID to sign the papers. I don't care if only one of you is making the payments on that house. If you're both on the deed, you both have to be there. And again, it sounds logical, but it has happened where one party shows up with the IDs for both and they think that's okay. Both of you need to be present with your IDs and everything you may need to finalize this close. Now, the closing statements are usually held in a location, designated by the title company. And you folks will sit down, they will go through paper by paper. They won't go line by line, but they'll explain what each paper does. And if any of them kind of pique your interest when they tell you this paper is this, feel free to tell them, hey, hold off a second, let me read real quick. Now, most of the time, it's all been laid out beforehand, and you're not signing anything that's going to be detrimental to you. But again, do your due diligence. If anything catches your attention, take a look at it, read through it, make sure you're signing everything the right way. But step number 9 is a simple one. If you've got 2 people on the deed, make sure you both show up for signature day. If you only got 1 person on the deed, then only 1 person needs to show up for signature day. And don't be afraid to ask questions once you're there. Last but not least, step number 10 is to allow yourself to enjoy the accomplishment of owning a piece of real estate. It's very easy to get lost in the stress and to get lost in the moment of everything that's coming your way now that you're a homeowner. But you've got to give yourself time and acknowledge the accomplishment that you've had. You just purchased your first piece of real estate. That's yours. Belongs to you, your family, or whoever you want to leave it to. So step number 10, it's easy. Congratulations. You're a new homeowner. All right, folks, and that's gonna be it. It's a fun little video. I hope you found it helpful. If there's any questions that I didn't cover, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. I always love interacting with people. If you're an agent watching this video, share some of the funny first-time homebuyer experiences that you've had. And if you are a first-time homebuyer or a homebuyer with an experience you want to share, please feel free to share. But other than that, this has been Angel, your real estate guardian. Give me a call.